everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I have decided to do a Halloween makeup tutorial and I'm going to be doing kind of like a zombie kind of look with like cuts and everything all over my face. I got my inspiration from Franny Arietta and she did a zombie look where she had cuts and everything all over her face. This is an example of what I'm talking about. And so let's get straight into the video. So to start with, I'm just going to be taking a little headband and I'm just going to be putting my hair back so that I don't get anything in my hair. Okay, so to start off this look, I want to put like a layer of light foundation on my face. This is the lightest foundation I have. It's the Rimmel London Lasting Finish Foundation in the shade Ivory. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of here and then mix it in with some white face paint so it just comes out really pasty and pale looking. I'm going to be using the Deveron face and body paint in white. This one is just from Spotlight and it was about $10, so it's really affordable and very accessible, so you don't need to worry about ordering things online or anything like that. So I'm just going to be mixing some of that in with the foundation, so hopefully it kind of works out alright. I'm not really sure how this is going to go. I'm also using some like really old brushes so that I don't really get my good brushes ruined. Okay, so now I'm just going to paint that all over my face. I definitely recommend using an actual really pale foundation, not mixing it with face and body paint because it's really hard to blend out. Looks like a bloody face mask, doesn't it? So I think I'm just going to go in with some actual foundation over that, just so it kind of gives me like a little bit of actual skin looking. Okay, so now that's dried out a little bit, I'm going to take my Rimmel London Match Perfection translucent powder, set that all down so that it also creates like a more pale kind of look. And now for the fun part. I did go out and buy some liquid latex. It's like literally just from like Red Dot, I think. Just toilet paper, like it is the easiest option and it is so cheap and affordable, obviously. So what you do is you just take a sheet of your toilet paper, tear apart the pieces so that they're like really, really thin, because this is going to create like textured skin kind of look. Tear apart the really thin layers of toilet paper so that you have nice thin. Just kind of take some of this liquid latex on the back of my hand, then I might just kind of dab that around where I'm wanting the cuts to be. And then I'm just going to take a thin piece of the tissue and then just gonna tear like a piece off so it kind of tapers down, because I want it to be like a thick cut going into like a thin kind of thing. So I'm just going to pop that on like that. Hello, I don't know how this works. I'm going to keep kind of dabbing that over the top of the tissue, just so it like becomes more textured and a little bit thicker each time. And this latex does dry clear, so it won't always look this white. Just wait for that to then dry off again. And then I'll go in with another couple of layers over the top of that. While I'm waiting for this side to dry off, I'll just go in and start creating the other cut on this side of the face. My face is feeling really tight right now because it's like on my cheekbones, so I'm just going to tie my hair back because it's being a bit of a pain in the ass at the moment. Keeps getting stuck in my little cuts. Okay, so now that I have got all of the scars and stuff in the places that I want them, I'm going to go and wash my hands because they're a bit of a state. And then I'm going to go in and create kind of like bruising around the eyes and just kind of like roughen myself up a little bit. So I'll be back in a second and we'll get straight into that. So for the bruising, I'm going to take the Morphe 35P palette. It is the one with all of the purple kind of shades in there. And I'm just going to take a little rounded compacted brush. And I think I'm just going to go in to start with like a colour just like this one here. And I'm just going to like blend it through the crease and just like really darken it up so it looks like a bruised effect. Also, I'm going to take it down to my tear duct area and my inner corner and just really like rub it through those areas there. And then I'm just going to kind of outline where my natural eye socket is so it creates like a black eye kind of effect. Going to go in with like a richer, darker purple, and I'm just going to like emphasize those bruises, because bruising is never just purple. It's got like kind of yellows and greens and like dark purples. So I'm also going to go in a minute with some colors like that. Also, I'm going to create some bruising like around my nose area so it looks like I've been really banged up and zombie like. So I've just thought that I kind of want to create like a cut on my lip as if I've been like hit in the lip or something like that. So I'm just going to pop some of that latex on my lip like that. And then just go in with like a little bit of tissue. Now these ones have dried up very well, so I'm just going to cover them up so they look like actual skin. So now continuing on with the bruising, I'm going to be taking the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, and I'm just going to be taking this dark green colour down here just on the same brush. Go really lightly, go over those purple bruises just to make them a little bit more realistic looking. And then again with that Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm going to take this orangey yellow shade up here just on a smaller pencil brush and just kind of go in and like outline those green and purple bruises. Just kind of blend it out also. Okay, so now that the bruising is done, I'm going to get to the fun part and start ripping these scars open, but I'm just going to quickly cover this cut on my lip first. So what you're going to do is just take some tweezers, just any tweezers that you have lying around, and you're just going to start cutting these scars open. So basically just find like a part in the middle where you want to drag that cut down and just rip them open. You can like rip off any excess parts that are going to look kind of unrealistic. Tear that cut open a little bit. Continue to do that with all of your cuts on your face. Once all your cuts are torn open, what I'm going to do is just go in with a little bit more foundation over the top, just so that there's no like white parts of the tissue showing. And then what I'm going to do is just take an old flat-headed brush that I don't use at all, and I'm just going to kind of dab over those. This has already got some excess black eyeshadow on it, so I'm just going to dab over those. And then I'm going to go in with some of the purples and then also the greens like we did to create the bruises under the eyes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a plain black eyeshadow shade, fill in the gaps where you've torn your cuts open. So it creates some kind of dimension and looks like the cuts are quite deep. This cut on my lip is kind of like lifting a little bit, so I'm just going to try and stick it down using a little bit more liquid latex. Now what I'm going to do with the cuts is I'm going to take like a little flat-headed brush and just use some of the red kind of bruisey colours on the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to like rub them around the cut areas so the cut looks kind of raw. So this cut on my lip isn't going to let me kind of tear it because it's too small and it just keeps lifting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this like red kind of bruisey shade here and I'm just going to dab it around my lip so it creates kind of like a swollen. We're going to move on to the fake blood. So I've got the Daravan Face and Body Paint brand again, but it's just fake blood this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of squeeze some of that into where the cuts are and then just spread it out a little bit. I'm just going to give you guys a close-up of me putting the blood into this wound here so you can kind of see how it pulls the whole look together. As you can see, it just like creates like a lot of depth. So what I'm doing now is I'm just applying some fake blood to a little beauty sponge and I'm just kind of dabbing it around the wound just to kind of create like a little bit more of a raw look. You don't want to go too overboard with the blood around the wound because it's just going to make it unrealistic looking. Okay guys, so that is the end result for this look. I really hope you guys enjoyed a video like this. It's a little bit different. I hope you all have a wonderful day and a great Halloween if you're doing anything exciting for that. And I will see you all in my next video. See you later.